Everyone, welcome to another book club with Atlantic Herald. I am Victoria. We are going to be doing Dedicant Devotee Priest. I forgot how much I fucking loved Restream. Holy shit. uh, so anyway, welcome. Thank you all for joining. I just realized that my audio device is probably not set up. So bear with me. We are going to be reading Dedicant Devotee Priest. We are doing chapter 10. Oh, goodness. I forgot the chapter number already. Where's our chill lo-fi? There we are. We're going to do Evening Whispers, and we're just going to have that on repeat. Okay, we've got some people in the Discord server with us. There we go. Now I'll actually be able to hear it. Oh my, quite loud. Oh wait, it doesn't work that way anymore. That's right. This is Restream, not. Oh, here we've got some music here on All right, hello everyone in the Discord server. Can I actually have anybody go and check the audio on the stream anywhere? I want to make sure that the I think this music in the background. Thank you. I think this music in the background has rain. Thank you. Yeah, so we have Twitch and we have YouTube. I think I might actually buy the premium version of Restream. I really like it. I didn't have to resize anything. It just has the layouts. It's lovely. Whew. Y'all can see my cat hair for being a good fur mama this morning. Awesome. That audio's kind of weird. Oh, wait, we could upload our own? It's a premium feature. Is it? It's not! Shit. Alright. You know what? Maybe it's a good thing OBS took a shit on us the other day because it's allowed me to be back up on Restream. I kind of fucking love it. Thank you. Thank you, Daycast. Thank you, Stella. Wonderful members of our community who always happily check. I really appreciate all of you guys helping me with that because I wouldn't know if y'all didn't tell me. Alrighty. Okay, so let's get started. First, as always, Daycast. You're gonna have to remind me of that one. I'm not gonna remember. But I will. Oh yeah? Say my last name. In fact, someone just figure out how to spell it. It's Chaze. Daycast. Yeah! I probably just ended up calling you D. Yeah. That's why, I kind of feel bad when I fuck up people's names, but I also kind of don't, because mine gets fucked up so much. Alright. I only call my friends mean names. That's funny. That was great. Alright, let's go to chapter 10. I'll see, up for the record, I never used to, as if I knew what page that was going to be on, I checked last time. There we go. I love that we can click it and it bounces right to the chapter. Alright, so I'm going to put this over here. Just putting this here. Discord links. There we go. Both of those should trigger something in. Wait, this thing connects and streams to Discord. Oh, fuck. I think I just figured something cool out about Restream. Alright. Chapter 10, Service to the Gods. So previously we talked about the idea of being a priest. The questions were what does it mean to you? We have all the questions in the book club thread. Scroll up. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, I think, last time. But like, yeah, we're talking about, journal about what being a priest means to you. What does the title describe? Why have you chosen this? All of that. And we went over different kinds of roles of priesthood, like dealing with the community, making sure that all like the gods feel respected, and rituals are, I wouldn't say done properly, but like done in the correct way, in the sense that, hey, if you invite someone into your ritual, deity, or put it this way, if you invite someone over to your house and you greet them when they come in, and you say bye to everyone and just kind of go back to, like, as everyone else leaves and they're still here, you're saying bye to everyone else. And then when it's come time to like say bye to them, you just turn around and just go start doing your laundry. They're going to feel a little, not great. So things like that. There was an example of a story last time where something similar happened with a ritual. They did the ritual, but they didn't like say bye to the deities the way they did like everyone else. You're like, when you say hi, and then at the beginning and you greet all the deities, it's like, come on in. Maybe I should shut my camera off for the stream so that I can, it's not going to help actually. There we go. Figured it out. I want this bigger. I fussed with it by... There we are. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so chapter 10, Service to the Gods. As always, we start off each chapter with a story from our author. One of the things I wanted to point out was less the story. More, by the way, anyone feel free to jump in, raise your hand, talk in the chat. I have both the stream chats and the Discord chat open. So if you want to say something, everyone's welcome to. Just understand that you are going to be on stream. It's going to be live. So the video's out there. Yeah. So anyway, so serving the gods can take many forms. Sometimes it's hosting a ritual, talking to others about the gods you serve to help them on their own path. Other times it's gods will ask you to do things. Other times, as we mentioned, there's things that you just do because it's the polite thing, right? Like you invite someone to your house, you invite a deity into your house, she says, as she's lighting an incense for the gods. You want to make sure to greet and say goodbye to them, right? Treating all the gods with the same level of reverence that, goodness gracious, same level of reverence that you do all the other gods, unless of course you mean to piss them off, in which case, I mean, bad choices, but they're your choices. Okay, sorry. I realized I didn't have the thing to put the incense in front of me because I moved it the other day, and so I have to put it, fire safety, guys, fire safety. So there's a lot of different roles as far as sorry, turn down the music. As far as what serving the gods as a priest, priestess, devotee might include. So as we said, we looked at some of the things that define priesthood, but most of these things have been things that priests do or clergy does, roles they take on in service to their gods. But there's also the personal side of priesthood, your personal relationship with the gods you serve, right? And that can change when, from before you decide to become a devotee or take an oath or become clergy, from your regular practice to clergy practice. Some of that may mean, as we mentioned, like doing things more publicly, which I know that there are many people who have taken these kinds of oaths and these kinds of relationships with the deities that they honor, but they're not doing it publicly. They're focused on the private, on their private practice and how they can serve privately. Like for example, I know that one of the mods is, I think they it's been a minute since I talked to them about this. I think they go by devotee. But part of their service to that god is to do a fuck ton of divination for people. Like genuinely, they're what is it? Not devotee, oracle. It's oracle. So they do a fuck ton of readings for people for free, because that's, you know, that's part of what they do to honor that deity. Um, it's part of, you know, that's it. But like, there's a difference between privately offering those, right, and like, say for example, and doing a free divination stream, right? The main point I'm trying to bring on this one is the public aspect of it. A lot of people in general, one of the number one fears in the world, in fact, is public speaking. I don't give a fuck. So, um, but I've taken it's a public speaking like club thing. If you've heard of it, Toastmasters. If you've heard of it, please just put like an emoji in the chat. I just want to see if anyone else actually cares about it or knows about it. And it's just a public speaking club for adults, basically. You get a booklet, you practice different kinds of speeches. They can be motivational. They can be. I went with my dad when I was a kid, so for me, that's a little bit. The public aspect is a little bit less intimidating for me, so I don't have a problem with the idea of putting my face out, right? As opposed, and maybe it's not just your own choice, maybe it's the type of relationship that you have agreed to, that you have with that deity, either prior to some sort of clergy or oath, or it could be that because of this work with the deity, it's become more private, right? Maybe there's work that you have to do first. So don't think, and the reason I bring all this up is because we have this idea of what priesthood and clergy is, right? And a lot of us have that idea from more popular mainstream religions. More currently popular. I'm going to start saying that, more currently popular. That'll piss some people off. But it's true. I'm dying. I'm sorry. You have to understand, my if y'all don't know, my father's very conservative, and our religious our religions do not align. Respect each other, yeah, but like, and he has actually brought me some things for my altars and stuff. But so I just kind of like in his face, like saw my head, his reaction to that phrase. It's true. It's amazing because you have to remember that pagan is anything that is not the popular religions, right? Like the top, whatever. Pagan is an umbrella term. So if we're saying, okay, we're pagans, and we're pagan polytheists, so we're not the mainstream polytheists, so we're honoring multiple gods. What did I say? Yeah, pagan polytheist, and then I usually explain to people Hellenist. Because I've learned personally, for me, that if I say Hellenist first, the only thing people hear is hell, maybe in it. Like, I don't know. So I was I'm a pagan polytheist, and yeah, right. So going by that definition, right? Not the main. If I'm a pagan polytheist, then to this day side-eyes me. Yeah, my dad does too. But he also gives me things for my Greek shit, as he says sometimes. He goes, actually, he doesn't say shit. He says stuff because he doesn't swear. Yeah, my grandmother was also very Christian. She was immensely respectful and very much supported HH. So I mean, there's difference, you know. Hi, Thunder. Thunder subscribed for 22 months in a row. Oh my gosh. Like, the fact that you have not missed a month is the best. So anyway, back to the point. So if I'm a pagan polytheist, which means I'm not the main religion in my pantheon, whatever I believe in is multiple deities, then the opposite of that is the singular deity, main religion. So, oh, that's so sweet. Can I read that out loud? Okay, so, DCOS, said that their mom was very Christian, and the story is, oh my god, there was this one time, it was so sweet, my mom got me a Greek Bible thinking it was the Bible equivalent for the Greek gods, but it was just the Bible translated to Greek, but like the gesture was there. I know, that's so sweet. Praise Athena, we hope, Thunder. I know we're all sitting up on here on the phonetics. There we go. Okay, so, back to the book. Phonetics, yes. Oh, one of the, in the Discord server, someone's name, I kept getting it wrong. I got the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. I can't play that right now, but let's do it later. I think that's so sweet, and I think, you know, just as we say in our own personal practice, that it's the intention that matters, it's the gesture, it's the thought that matters, right? The day I knew that my father accepted me with my religion as part of my life, was the day he gave me this, like, it's a really weird looking notebook, but it's definitely one that, but it's definitely one that was similar, if not one of the ones I had on my Amazon wish list, that was very specifically pagan-y looking. I'm gonna say it that way. It wasn't any particular symbol, but it had like just the vibes. And then he got it for me, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this the one?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Thanks, Dad." So we have to remember that, and then that goes, that is, I would say, even more magnified in whatever. It's more so if you're taking like an oath or a position, especially publicly. Like we said, look how good I tied that back in. Like I said, it could be like a devotee, it could be clergy, it could be like oracle, etc. Okay, yeah, priesthood is just another type of relationship, but it's a complicated one, because it opens your devotion and dedication to the gods, to others in the community, which also means, of course, when we do something publicly, to open ourselves up to criticism. Pagan looking notebooks. I think I have it somewhere. It's got like a lot of cool designs on it. A lot of moons and stars. So here's a great question. On an individual level, how will it change our relationship to the gods as far as the personal aspect of priesthood? What does being in service to the gods really mean for the priest's own spiritual journey? I'm gonna go ahead and answer this on stream. She says, and then thinks about it for like 3 seconds. Like, should I really? Able to help with any and all IPA transcription. Send me a message about that later, Thunder, and explain what the fuck that means. IPA transcription. So prior to doing HH, my practice was pretty fucking private. Well, private as the next person, I guess. I did a lot by myself. I did do divination streams. I really kind of want to get back to them, to be honest, but it's just so energy, like, it just consumes so much of my energy. Like, I can't. But that was the only thing I did public, and the reason I did that was for practice, right? And even into like the early days of HH, a lot of my practice was still pretty private. But like once things kind of settled and HH started get like my personal practice is very little. I'm trying very hard right now to do that to increase, like, to do more meditating and to do more divination and stuff. But you know, at least for divination, that shit requires a fun. But for the other things, my practice, my entire practice shifted primarily public. So majority of the things that I do in my practice are now are now within HH. HH is my practice. It is my devotional activity. It is the thing I do. It's my life. I live here. Y'all are stuck with me now. I've got more settled. So Thunder says they've gotten the opposite way. Let me know about you guys, by the way, if you've ever if you've had this change as to more private throughout your practice. And I'm just interested. And we want your thoughts, please. As I've gotten more settled, I've become more private with my practice and my faith in general. You mean like more settled in your practice? I definitely think that there is a lot to be gained from both just as much looking inward as there is looking outward. Because we can't always talk about experiences in public the way unfiltered, right? As what just happened, where I opened my mouth and then I stopped for a second and went, is this really a good idea? You know, because it's public. I was streaming the other day, and although it wasn't anything particular like with my practice, but the way I think about doing things has changed. Because when I was streaming here in the server, even though it was chaos, we're streaming chaos, even though I had put the rating on there, and we all hold ourselves and each other responsible, right, here in HH. I still, the mindset came that like someone was in the room, and I thought to myself, I know what's about to happen to this next character because I saw a clip of it. It was the explanation of what happened previously, and so I knew what was about to happen. And I looked at it and I went, I'm gonna stop streaming this. I need to be a responsible server owner because I don't know this person, and like I know that we all keep each other. It's our own jobs to like follow the rules, and if they're there, it's their responsibility. But at the same time, the same way that like if we go to a public event, we're there. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, even though there's security around. Right? There's the mods. There's security. Like, and security might look or the performer or whatever, whoever's doing the thing might go, oh, this is, everyone's bought a ticket knows. But if, people still lie, right? Their responsibility. If they're there, it's their responsibility. That's right. That's how we confuse non-native English speakers. That's how we confuse native English speakers too. They're there and there. So it's just interesting. I'm much less likely to share this is what I do and this is how I do it and this is what happens, how it should feel. Exactly. There's because there's a vulnerability to that. There's so much vulnerability to that. There's vulnerability of, this is something that's important to me and I'm talking about it. A negative reaction could hurt your feelings, right? This could be, and not just something that I'm interested in or I like. Now it goes a level, this is my religion. This is an integral part of my life. This isn't just, hey, I'm desperately looking for something that I could pick up. Here, I like Demon Slayer right now. I mean, I love this thing. Can we talk about it? And you go, I don't really like that thing. I think it's lame as fuck, and it's like super childish. You can be like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we're not talking about Demon Slayer. But that's just one show, despite the fact that many of us nerds make it like our religion. Shh. Everyone loves you. Everyone loves you, Tangen. Y'all can't see. If you can't see the camera, you're missing out on some visual gags. Demon Slayer's religion. So, I'm dying, sorry. But yeah, having it now be your religion, your faith. This isn't the show that I'm watching for this month. This is the show that I've been watching. It's like, the show that I didn't watch. Game of Thrones. There we go. It's like saying I don't like all of Game of Thrones, not just this season. It's like saying I don't like any Star Trek series, movie, whatever, not just, you know, the OG or whatever. Or Voyager, because no one likes Voyager. Okay, so Stella, honestly, I've been pretty public with my practice, mainly because I go to Christian school filled with with atheists, and I want, for the record, Stella's been on here before, and I remembered that I watch shit. I go to a Christian school filled with atheists, and I want them to understand and be somewhat educated in other religions. Yeah, it's never a bad thing to learn. I learned something in the homeschooling industry, which is the phrase being a lifelong learner. And that means that you're open to learning. So I got distracted by your comments, Stella. I agree with you. It's a crime. So funny. Demon Slayer, religion, worthy. As a YouTuber and somewhat of a priestess in my training, yay, we should talk. By that I mean I'm starting to learn about the gods in preparation of the one day building a temple. Oh, really? That's so cool. I love this. I know the feeling of having to bite my tongue. Yeah, I really control situations that involve myself in order to preserve my public image. Yeah. As a trans pagan being put in the public eye, I need to not feel already lit fires burning around me. Yeah, I actually caretake for a trans woman, and that bitch is constantly and like, she just can't. And there's so much shit and ass wipes that really have nothing better to do. And I just want to say this to anyone who ever has had any issues with bullying or anything like that, as someone who was bullied, to the point that my parents took me out of public school, and then in the future, later on, they took my little brother out of public school because of the same thing, in a different state. So at least the bullies were different. Variety. But yeah, anything that anyone says, I have learned this, or I read, not anything, but a lot of times, especially when it comes to bullies and trolls, what someone has to say has more to do with them and less to do with you. Just burn that into your soul. Because you will start to see it. You'll start to fucking see it. You'll see it in the way that they act, and if you know someone well enough, you can see it and start connecting what they're saying to their traumas, and it's amazing. It's so sad. But yeah. If you don't like Star Trek, you have issues. I agree. I thought that was like an unofficial rule of HH. I'm sorry, y'all can't see it because I have laundry. I'm sorry. Do y'all see the brand new fucking Klingon Empire flag behind me? The only reason this is up is I forgot that OBS wasn't working, which means that if it was working, this would be my transparent background. 2, there's a lot of laundry on my bed right now. We're going through Pagan Book Club. We are talking about the public versus private nature of becoming of your practice and clergy. So we kind of got in on this based off this questions right here. versus that, talking about that priesthood is just another relationship, or clergy is just another type of relationship that we can have with the gods. And we're talking about how it may have changed our relationship with the gods, whether we become more private or more public in our practice, if whether or not you are a dedicant devotee, priest, oracle, any one of those titles, or if, like Thunder, as you become more settled in your practice, you become more private. And like myself, when I started really, HH started rolling, my private practice dwindled considerably, and HH became my practice. Because if I didn't have to work, I would be living, eating, drinking, breathing like Hellenic and Greek shit. Okay. I mean, I'd be doing it while also watching Star Trek, but still. I actually think that it would be really cool to talk about that. I heard my name. What happened? Oh, I was explaining that how your practice, what you said previously. Talking to Thunder. So, yeah. Thank you all for sharing. And by the way, anyone's welcome to be a guest on the streams. Anyone, like, I'm looking for regular co-hosts for things, because it means if I fuck up with scheduling or whatever, at least the what is it, the show must go on without me. And number two, it doesn't just end up with me yammering all the time. I know my voice is amazing, but still. So you are. I can be the recurring funny side character. Yes, you can. We're talking later, all of us. So maybe it's putting an extra hour of practice, refining the skill set. These things can seem minor, but the gods are looking at things from a much wider perspective than we are, right? So, and this is in relation to the fact that the gods can ask all sorts of things of our priests. I'm also going to say this. I highlighted that maybe it's the extra hour of practicing, refining the skill set. When I read this, looks at my school schedule, not it. I know, right? That's, yeah, fucking work. I don't want to work. Next year, I'm hoping to not have to work outside the home. And instead be making money working from home. So everyone, cross your fingers, mention a little something for me in your phrase. Anyone's welcome to pray for me at any time, no matter what. Unless I specifically tell you no, obviously. But so, cross your fingers for me. So the reason I wanted to highlight that section, put an extra hour of practice refining the skill set. There is, there's a particular person who does a lot of videos about cooking. And one of the main video that's pinned on their channel is just, I'm getting back so I can show you guys. You know how you hold a skillet like this? Here's the pan, and here's the handle, right? I'm showing it on the, thank you guys. I'm showing it on the stream. So you're going to have to watch the stream if you want the visual of this. And basically what the video is showing, just to tell you guys, it's just that, how when you take a skillet off the heat, off of the fire, you're holding it in your hand, and you start mixing whatever's in it by flipping the food in the skillet. We all know this scene. We've seen it in every fucking goddamn Studio Ghibli movie. They love doing it, and it's awesome. I love doing it in real life. And so you're just flipping the food, right? That is hard. It's hard to do. You need practice to learn it, and the purpose of that video is actually that it is a skill set that seems incredibly difficult to learn, but it's muscle memory, and it's just putting that extra time. And how I learned it was I didn't sit there and practice with my skillet. They practiced it with like beans in the skillet, okay, on a skillet that's not hot, so you don't burn yourself. My dumbass, hey, look, I'm cooking something. Let's practice. Did I lose a lot of food over the years? Yeah. Have I lost a lot of food lately? No. Take any extra moment that you can to practice the skill set, or in what I'm saying, to practice your practice. It seems minor, but remembering to to practice gratitude. I know everyone says one of the top 5 things you can do to change your life: practice gratitude, journal, exercise. Are we all tired of hearing it yet? But no, genuinely practicing, taking the time. Like, if you're enjoying the outside, say a little thank you to Gaia. Say a little thank you to Demeter or Persephone for helping the flowers grow, or for, Demeter for the beautiful food on your plate. If you're, and I bring this up because so often do I see on the server people saying, what can I do? I don't have a lot of time. Or people thinking that you have to have a giant ritual. You don't have to. And I think especially in the vein of clergy, learning to not just do the one big thing, but how our gods and how our practice impact our day-to-day lives and vice versa. Because obviously if you have a hard day at work or at school and you're fucking tired, you've been lugging a giant book bag around, or you've been moving some shit on the storage shelves or whatever, or you've been dealing with crazy annoying customers, you may not even want to hear your own fucking voice. Some days my client is very chatty and we go into a lot of loud places, and by the end of the day I am overstimulated as fuck. And that really got to me early on when I felt like I couldn't do my practice, especially because for a long time I've known / wanted to / thought about going in the clergy direction. And in my head early on, I was like, well, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing, a thing in the morning every day. I'm not doing this. How can I call myself a fucking clergy? You can't. You know why? Because none of that shit's correlated to clergy. None of that shit means that you're a clergy. Your relationship matters, right? If you don't have time to do a big ritual all the time, it's fine, because the gods know you care. But is it fun as fuck to dress up and do a big thing? Hells yeah. But some days it's just about going, sup Apollo, hey Helios, hey Gaia, flowers looking gorgeous today, Celine, you're shining brilliantly, Hera, bless that couple at across, the coffee, at across the Starbucks. I see them. It's adorable young couple. I hope they have a good time, whatever. It's practicing gratitude for yourself and others. It's practicing the little thank yous, the having the everydays. It's not putting the pressure on yourself that you have to do the big rituals, but still enjoying them when you can, right? A space to the small things. Curse you, ADHD. I'm just gonna give a thing out right now that I saw on TikTok yesterday, the other day, which is good for anyone with ADHD / procrastination. It's the might as well. Just start saying, might as well. I'm getting up, go to a drink. Might as well take my dishes to the kitchen. I'm going there anyway. I'm here getting. I'm in the fridge getting a drink. Might as well grab an apple or some shit. Whatever. I'm already here. Might as well. Might as well. Might as well. Just like and burn it into your soul. Because I didn't realize I've been using that forever. So there's a story here that I thought was really cute. And the point of this section is talking about that the gods may nudge you in the right direction. And the story is that eventually at an event, our author is kind of raging over Roblox. I don't know what Obby is, but I know what Roblox is. Not at all. Many people need, it's kind of the opposite of when you're driving and you turn the music down so that you can read the street signs. I still think it's fucking stupid, even though I do it. It's like that. It's the other side. It's that I need something to occupy the jittering nervous, or the thing in my head. For me, it's jittering nervous. The thing that is That's going to cause me to get distracted. I need my brain to be partially occupied so that I can actively focus on the braining part, like the brain part of the brain meat, to actually comprehend this. My ex-husband used to do it. I fucking hated it, to be honest. Just his way of doing it, which was when I was talking, and usually it was about something important. He'd be playing video games and like completely, and I'm just like, bring him here. Come here. Don't be in the other room. But like, I do it as well. I do it with, to be fair, I was standing next to him. Like, so it's a little different. I'm trying to show you, but all I have is this ring. So I actually have a ring. This isn't even a ring, it's a keychain. But I have a ring for my finger. It's not here. I put it away. Like a good, instead of putting it down, we put it away. And it spins. It has like it's a spinning ring. So it's a fidget ring or whatever. And I just spin it. And that's my focus. Okay, so I love this story. Eventually, I needed to use the restroom. I headed to that direction. On the way, someone came out of the building we were using as a temple space in tears. I went up to them and ended up having a long conversation. Probably still needed really bad. And little nudges like that can be part of priesthood. They can be part of your service to the divine. They are things most people won't see you do, but they need doing regardless. You will be surprised. I think many of us have had experiences, but you would be surprised how simple some of the acts of dedication or worship can be. And we've said that, like, you can literally pour water, right? Like, and be like, here is my libation, here is my offering. You can literally do nothing other than, I love you guys. That's all I got. And that's enough. And that's usually when we're talking about things like doing offering or honoring the gods, but in our personal practice. But when we're talking about clergy, I also want to point out, I think that a lot of people forget some of the acts of clergy that people do. For example, when you think of being a priest, or when you think of priests, like the typical like Christian priests. And I say this because there aren't a lot of us in the example that I'm about to give, but it's something that I want to do. When you're in the hospital, has anyone ever seen a priest in a hospital? This bitch has. Every time my mom has ever gone in for surgery, she's had a priest come and pray. Every single time. Everyone ever see a Satanist in a Satanist like clergy in a hospital? Right? Anyone ever see? I say Satanist because I don't know. I'm just thinking. I want to see a pagan clergy in a hospital. Exactly. That's what this bitch wants to do. And you know what's funnier is it's funny how the little nudges of service, right? We're talking about that. I wanted, when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a candy striper. If you don't know what that is, here, let me explain it to you. Candy striper is a person. It's a position that used to exist in hospitals. You could volunteer for it. Most hospitals won't let you do it now because of security. Understandable. Totally get it. And they'd be wearing this like bright color outfit. They would usually bring candy, right? As well as things like magazines or like used books, things to give and brighten the day and help the people who were spending a week, or like children who were spending the night in the hospital. Particularly children was really a big thing, but like anyone else spending a week in a hospital, a month in a hospital, long-term care. It's very depressing. It literally goosebumps. I know. Every time I start talking about things I want to do, I get like goosebumps vibe, right? And it's just like, it's something nice to do. It's a volunteer position. It's always been a volunteer position. It's never been a paid thing that I've known about. I would apply for that job 300 times in one day if it was paid. I love that idea. I love the idea of making someone's life better, making someone's day better, brightening their day, especially for people who are having a really hard time. And when I was a kid, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that so much that I talked to 3 different hospitals as a child. Like, I physically called up. And so as an adult, when I ended up having to go to the hospital and I found that, and I was a pagan at that time, I didn't want someone to come to my room. In fact, my mother had requested at one time, again, as an adult in the hospital. I was still living with my folks because I was in college, but like still, for a priest to come, and I turned that motherfucker away so fast. I honestly was like, thank you, but no, go away. Go away and don't come back. If I was a resident hospital club, I would make use of it. Me too, exactly. If there was even a pagan one, like I would. But for the Catholic in Mexico, it's more common to see them at the deathbed. Exactly. There's also death doulas. I believe that's what they're called. Right? I might be wrong. So that kind of service is something that we don't necessarily think of. We think of hosting rituals. We think of giving offerings to the gods. We think of like cleaning altars. All those things we talk about, right? But that's a little thing that can be done. And for me, I recognized that the nudge, hindsight is 2020, the nudge into service, right? Into that type of service. And as an adult, I look back and I go, as an adult who wants to become clergy, looks back and goes, yeah, that makes sense. And that makes sense why it bothered me so much too. Because it wasn't my religion. And even if I didn't know that Hellenism was my religion at the time, I knew that that wasn't my religion. That made me feel when there was nobody there for me. Glad to help with the reminder. Nice. Yeah, we're totally not thinking about becoming a 501c nonprofit. Totally not. I haven't been talking about it for years at all. And also, I'm just gonna say, because D, you mentioned like a charity project and something is dedicated to Demeter. I'm also gonna say this right now. I don't think we make use of the internet enough. I societally, I don't think we do. And I say that in the method, in the vein of like, it's not that we're not on the internet enough. I think that we don't make use of it enough. In the sense that you can do a lot of these types of activities. Maybe we can't build a physical place, but the problem with building a physical place is if it's someplace that people have problems getting to, if it's too big, because like there was someone in the server who talked about this constantly, like a while ago, a long time ago, and I actually recently had a discussion with my partner about it, and he was like, and even my father, my Republican, very Christian, technically clergy father, has shown me property in other states because I mentioned temples and shit, and how the topic keeps coming up, and how I legitimately might just buy a property and butt fuck nowhere and make a thing like a semi-hostile thing, Xenia and all that. And but even he has shown me property, and I'm like, but the problem is then it's stuck in one location and everyone has to come, which I still might end up doing, because hey, if I can't own property in fucking LA, might as well. It's too expensive here. But what we can do, and I want to inspire you perhaps with this, and is something that I would love for anyone who worships or is a devotee of a particular deity to contact us for next year about potential activities that they can host for that month that are not necessarily the ritual, like this. Like planting seeds for Demeter it's not necessarily a charity, but it is a charitable act, right? That we can do wildflower seeds. If people want to donate to purchase seeds, we can and have a community event where we all go and plant seeds and share pictures of us doing it and use hashtag praise Demeter or whatever the fuck, right? It takes one domino moving to create a beautiful, depending on what you've built with your dominoes, beautiful like design and or beautiful chaos, right? We can do these things without necessarily having a place to do them. Where we can say, instead of everyone going to a park together, maybe we all just go to a park on the same day. Writing boot camp. I'm holding you to it, Sacred. I fucking want it. Go throw if you're not an Apollo worshiper or a writing person. I can tell you we definitely have a few. Just like, and anyone who has any ideas like this, please just go throw them in the suggestions channel in the Discord. Genuinely, it's fucking amazing. The level of things that we can do as a community if we utilize the tools that we have and the resources, including HH. If you want to do a writing boot camp for Apollo and you've been thinking about it, or you've been thinking about a D&D campaign, totally not one coming up in 2025, then, you know, in ancient Greece or whatever, if you want to do a gravestone cleanup, might do that actually in October. If you have thought about doing stuff and you just haven't had the like the group, haven't had the, or like if you have thought about this and don't have the skill set, the group, the whatever, please post it in suggestions. Please, if it's like a writing boot camp, go post it in the writing channel and say, hey, does anyone have experience doing writing boot camps or anything like whatever like that? I'd love for us to do one to Apollo. If anyone would like to teach us anything, host your own book club. All of these are wonderful, devotional, and giving, at the very least, giving back to the community activities that HH fully supports and is happy to help host. Just come and open a ticket, talk to the mods. We want to absolutely encourage so much community involvement because, look, it's unfair to hold everyone to my schedule for streams. It just is. We have too many people. The reason we want more people doing things is because we want more people in the community to benefit from it. We all have different schedules. Someone's likely to be able to do it. You know, somebody. Good. I see people volunteering themselves for things. This is fantastic. Okay. What next section is what are we giving up? Don't get me started on ideas and shit, guys. Like, I'll just go on forever. So a lot of times people focus on what they are gaining from taking the title of priest or priestess, right? There's a certain amount of authority, a certain air, even as just a regular content creator within the community, because there's a prestige. That's the word, a prestige that comes with it, right? Oh, that person's a priest. That's a priestess. That's they're an oracle for so and so. Or, you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit. It's a title. The fuck does my name mean again? I went to a Samhain ritual once, and we were told to introduce ourselves, and we could give any title if we were like a clergy or like a devotee of a certain deity. And part of it, was that we had to list we had to say, I'm because we were doing something that was in relation to ancestors and blah blah blah. We were saying, I'm the child of so and so and so and so, and blah blah blah. What else we wanted to put? And I said, I'm not going to say my parents' names because I don't know. I just feel like internet privacy. I am the daughter of I already said my name. I had my last name. A difficult last name, and Y longer difficult last name. And I am the humble conqueror of the throne. My name is Victoria May Khazet. I am the humble conqueror of the throne. That's what my name means. My parents actually gave thought. And so like I remember when I said that, my friend was like, the fuck? Would attend writing workshop. Creative writing minor right here. Terrible speller. So when you have a title, it does give a certain, when you guys say like, I'm the daughter of a whatever, and so and so and so and so, and I am the humble victorious the humble conqueror of the throne. Blah. It has this. Thank you. I've actually looked it up. I don't think it means that, but like, I love that they tried. And so like, it has that air, right? And then we get to do all these rituals. We get to do all these public events. You know, we get to wear the fancy things and all of this. So much of what we get, but we forget that what we give up. And as we talked about it previously, we give up. Part of what we give up is the status quo. You cannot. In order for you to achieve your goals, things have to change, but we are naturally resistant to change, right? And so, yeah, self-care. I love that. Oh my God, we're gonna have spa night. Yes. Let me just not be dying from uni. Yes, spa night. I love it. H8 spa night. Done. Pick a date, propose it, fucking do it. Genuinely though, love that. That's so much of the community needs that. And I think it's a great thing to get together in the community to take care of yourselves, especially when you're doing it as a devotional act. So much about our practice, about Hellenism, about paganism in general, was very community based. And it's become really difficult for us, henceforth, the temples being difficult because we're scattered out. We are less numerically than we used to be. And so that makes it harder. But we can absolutely do things like that we would do together. Bitches, I threw my birthday party online. Man. So anyway, so we forget we're giving up, and that means that things are not going to stay the same. So the relationship even if we love where we are, the relationship with the deity, be like, I love you so much. I love our work together. I want to become a devotee of, for you. And they're like, oh, you're ready for that. Oh, cool. Yeah, totally. And then you're like, yay, I'm a devotee of Aphrodite. And Aphrodite's like, yeah, but guess what? You also still have self-esteem issues. So we're going to do some work on that. And you're like, oh no, I thought we were just going with the fun bits. Fuck. And they're like, yeah, well, you can't help other people learn to love themselves if you don't know how to do it yourself. And you're like, dies off screen. Right? Yes. Homemade spa things. 100%. I don't know what channel that would go in, but like pick a channel. We'll just talk about it. Honestly, I would do it as a devotional. I really struggle with self-care. Distant Thunder's up for the spa night. Oh my gosh, you pronounced my last name. Awesome, Thunder. That's great. Literally had to eat at least one meal a day devotional act to Hestia. That's great. That's really important. Drink a glass of water for fucking Poseidon. Eat an apple for, I think Aphrodite likes apples, doesn't she? I think that's her thing. Go spend 10 minutes outside for, oh my God, we're going to make a self-care bingo card or something. I don't know. Go spend 10 minutes outside and praise Helios. Touch grass, praise Gaia. Should legit do that. A good chunk of the server needs to go touch grass occasionally. You make a list to have it in mind. I have it on my phone, by the way. I have it on my phone and I have it on a chore app. And it's on a chore app. It's not that I have to do all of these things every day, but it's I'm making myself a menu. I'll post on the server when I'm done. It's essentially a weekly self-care menu where I have to do at least 3 things or at least 2 things a day. And it can be the thing I've done yesterday. It doesn't matter. I just have to do at least 2 of the things on that menu every day a week. That's all. I don't have to make sure all the things are checked off. I don't have to have done a different thing every day. It doesn't fucking matter. If all I can do that day is get up and go outside. Like today, my foot's hurting. My foot was hurting really bad yesterday. And my lady, normally when I work, I go for, in the sun setting, she lets me go for a walk. And I try to do about a mile in 20 minutes. And that's my goal. That's a good goal. That tells me I could run from the zombies if I needed to. Remember, we're not just training for fitness. We're training to survive the zombie apocalypse and to fight side by side with the Valkyries. There. Or side by side with Athena, whatever. I just think Valkyries are fun because you get to ride on cool chariots and shit. But yeah. Doing devotional acts is like okay, so, and that honestly, I'm trying to use I'm getting back to the things that we sacrifice. Not just the time and energy we sacrifice, right? There's other things that we sacrifice, or that we gain. So for example, the author tells the story again. Victoria just right back. Someone had been directed to me because they were a devotee of Morgan. And this is actually a really good example. This is why I highlighted it. But they were very firm in their conviction that they didn't want to be a priest of Morgan. And the reason they gave was that they would be giving up part of their freedom, and that wasn't a step that they were ready to take or possibly be ever willing to take. It's true that binding yourself to a deity, being in service to them as a priest, does mean giving something up. On some level, you are giving up a piece of your free will. It doesn't mean you can't negotiate or say no to certain things, but it's true. I knew that starting HH was going to be, even at that time, as small as it was, which we started with less than 50 people, which is still a decent size for a newly starting server. I never thought, I hoped we would get to like massive numbers. But like, if you told me I'd be, helping run a server with 1,000 people in it, I would be like, what? Part of what I knew going in was I knew I was going to have to take a lot of time out to do HH. And at the time I was working from home, and I was able to do that. And I was able to be doing, I would say 4 or 5 hours plus a day on HH, which is why I'm struggling now, because now I have a day job. Y'all see me still putting on some movies and shit in the VCs while I'm at work sometimes though. But it took a lot of my time. HH still takes a lot of my time. The reason that we've moved book club from Friday to Tuesday is because I can't have 2 days back to back streaming in the morning, not be able to do shit till noon, and then have to recover from streaming. And again, it's the reason I stopped doing the divination streams, because it took too much energy out. I needed the rest of my day. I knew there was things that I was going to have to sacrifice. And the mods, people who volunteer to do events, they sacrifice time. People who are on the server and active, and also really helpful. This is something that anyone can do. Be the eyes and ears for the mod. Oh yeah, it's morning for me. So essentially I wake up, I get myself ready for the morning, and then my butt is here. And today my butt is here for the next 4 hours. But book club usually runs about an hour. Gaming streams runs a minimum of 2, sometimes longer. And if there's a ritual and on a day that there's a stream, which that it happens more often than I thought it would, because we stream on the weekends and rituals tend to be on the weekends as well, so we can have more turnout and allow people to join us for that. And because of that, like, it's happened where there's been like, okay, it's the gaming stream, and then immediately after we have a ritual. And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'm spending my morning getting ready, preparing everything that I need to be ready for the ritual, because once I start the gaming stream, I won't have time to do the prep for the ritual. And that means that some days I'm live streaming for 4+ hours, plus time for clipping clips and getting in and packing everything up and everything. So we're looking at a 6 hour, some days it's a 6 hour thing. That's a lot of time. And that's also not just time for me personally, as someone who has fibromyalgia, is chronically ill. Sitting for that long means getting up is really fucking painful. So, but that might not be something that someone else is considering. And for me, that means that as a chronically ill person, get tired, which means that the rest of the day has to be pre-planned as to what is going to happen or not happen, right? There's an opportunity cost to everything. Opportunity cost means, hey, if I'm drinking water, I can't drink soda at the same time. I only have one mouth. Double straws. But you get the concept. Fellow Spoonie, whoop whoop. Aw, that's very sweet of you. Thank you. Vel. Also, welcome for the first time chat. Hi. We're a pagan polytheistic channel. I'm a Hellenist. We do primarily Hellenistic. We worship the Greek and Roman gods primarily. Sup, what's your practice? Hey. Bob, you got it, Bob. I love it. That's awesome. I am chatting with other people, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we're on Discord right now. Exactly. I know the platform like the back. Yes. Yes, please, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm saying yes to people on the Discord server. What Dee just volunteered to help with streaming stuff. Okay, I've just DM'd you so that I don't forget to DM you. Oh, Stella, go talk to Menelaus. Like, the website needs help. Go talk to Menelaus. Yes. Seriously. There's so much that we can, like, and Helping Hands, please feel free to go help recruit Helping Hands. So much that one of the things brain, there is so many projects that people do not even know about because of the fact that it was started and it ran out of hands, or it was started by yours truly and then yours truly had life explode, so then it got stuck sitting for a minute. There's so many aspects of the website, the server, we have committees, like online presence. I can't be there all at once, like, or just information. Right now, we're trying to put together some educational stuff on the back end for moderators, not just on technical things like the bots. We actually have a mod training now, but also on things like, slurs. And I bring this back up because literally my lady slurred yesterday. My lady has problems with not slurring. I'm just not up. I'm not up on the lingo. I don't know a lot of new agey shit. I'm not up on the lingo of what, like, I this year, I'm gonna go with no. We don't slur here. There have been times I have wanted to, but I didn't because it's wrong. And the only reason I wanted to was because when my lady will use slurs that would be used on her. So it's kind of a reclaiming thing. But unfortunately, it permeated my brain. And I had to ask her to stop, which was terrible because I understand that, people are allowed to reclaim words and that's 100%. But I needed no slurs in my brain. And so now I have them in my head and I hate it. I hate it so much. Just, I wish I could pour bleach in my brain, but I can't. Yeah. And really what we want to do is not necessarily what we want to do is we want to tell someone they're such a fucking asswipe, douche nozzle, dumbass. They're as useful as tits on a bowl. Be more creative. That's what I say. Menelaus. I'll tell them. There you go. Yeah, I'll hook you guys up. For sure. But yeah, and I don't know all the things. I was educated. I learned two words I knew were words were slurs this year, and I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't use them, but I didn't know that. And I'm glad that I do now. And the thing is that whether you're being eyes and ears in the server, letting us know what's up, whether you are like volunteering to do shit, whether you are, hey, I heard you guys are looking for information, here's a link, all of that's helpful. All of that is community work. By helping the mods, you're helping the community. You don't have to be a priest to help the community. Right? So, and some people don't want to give up the time, the effort, the energy, whatever it is. They don't want to give up their private practice, maybe. They don't want to give up their privacy. Bitches, I know that I put my name and shit out there. I don't care. I already know how to file a restraining order. Come on. But not everyone is. And not only, I don't know what I'm getting into. Someone could dox me. Someone could raid, could SWAT me. I don't fucking know. My life is not private in any way. You Google my face, you'll find me. Promise you. Probably not everywhere that I'd like you to. Like, probably in places that I wouldn't like you to. Like, I have a business in homeschooling. Half of that industry is very conservative. I recognize that I put a risk out there. I recognize that anyone, whether you put yourself on camera on the internet or you're just doing community work within your own community, you are sacrificing your personal privacy and your personal life. The internet's wild. It's wild. It's wild, wild west, y'all. But like, it's valiant to. Is it valiant? It's It is just as important to know what you are not willing to do as what you are willing to do. Some people, valid, yeah. Valiant. Is it valiant? Jahan! More mods. Whoop, whoop. And I think that's very important. I think that it's something that we think about things that we're not willing to do as like, oh, that person's not willing to do that. That's awful. But like, that's not always the case, because we only have so much time, energy, money, resources, and we can't do, I know, right? And we can't do everything. Not everyone is meant to be a boss. Not everyone is meant to be a chef. Not everyone is meant to stream on the internet. I forget that people don't know shit about like Discord or streaming and stuff because I've just been doing it for so long. I don't know a lot of shit. I could upgrade, like if I was back home, we would spend a lot of time upping the quality of what we produce and put out there, and me learning more of the nitty gritties, and all of the apps and things, right? And as much as we want to do everything, we can't. I know I can't spend time on that because my time is not best spent there. As much as we want to do everything we can for the gods that we love, going, to a level of commitment like a devotee, a priest, a oracle, we have school, we have work, we have to pay our bills, we have to eat. That's why we also say it's the intention that matters, because the gods understand that the world still has to turn. We have to eat. And if they can understand the greater cosmos of things, I'm sure they can understand that. But they also understand that, like, just because they understand just because we can doesn't mean we should, right? That's wisdom. Ayo, Athena! Right? We can want to have that level of dedication, that level of service. And I also want to say, not just that, but like, many times I have approached people to be moderators and they've said no. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, but you're so awesome. And they're like, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. And honestly, I'm going to say this right the fuck up front right now. I would rather someone say no and say, I can't do this early on, as soon as they realize that something might be a problem, than have, and I'm sure we've all been through this, right? We've had someone say they could volunteer to do something for us or help us with something, and then we expect that, and then they fall through. Even if it's just showing up on time, like, oh, we needed you here at this time so that we could leave, so we wouldn't be late, right? And they don't follow through, and it lets us down, right? It's much better, especially if that person has a habit of doing that. It's much better if they simply don't volunteer for something until they know that they can actually follow through with it. Same thing for everything else. Literally everything else. Don't volunteer with HH if you know that you're not going to have the time for it. Don't volunteer to take on a more in-depth relationship with the gods if you're not sure you're not ready. If you're not sure that you have the time for it. If for any reason, if you have anything that you cannot put the effort in for that. It's better to give what you can. Don't, the same thing with our offerings and stuff. Just because you can't do the big thing doesn't mean you have to do nothing. You just do less. You do what you know that you can do, right? You give what you know that you can give. And if you're unable or unwilling for whatever reason, and unwilling is not bad, right? Because we are like, for example, someone was unwilling to be a mod because they knew that in the future time, like they knew they were going back to school or whatever, right? They're like, yo, I gotta finish this first, so I can't do that. Sorry, I'm not willing to try to squeeze those two in. That is just as valid. That is very important, because the gods will understand. In fact, they probably knew first before you even opened your mouth that this was going to be too much for you, right? But you're going to be hard on yourself, right? Other people might be depending on you. That's going to suck, right? So the reason they gave, I'm sorry, I already read that bit. So I want to read this is the part I want to read again. It doesn't mean you can't say no or negotiate about certain things. You can do less. You can change your mind. We're all living beings. We all have brains. We all make mistakes. All of that, right? So that, because I want to say that again, because we did talk about how with the title of like priest or clergy, there is an air of like importance. There's a prestige to it. And if we're saying there's a prestige, someone might feel shitty that they aren't able to do the same amount because they want that title, that thing, that relationship, and they might feel shitty that they're not able to do it. It does mean, I want to say this. The author said that clergy means that you're in service to something greater. You aren't the one in charge. Who thinks we're in charge? Just a show of hands. Who thinks we're in charge of shit? Happened in our life. I'm not. Because if I was in charge of the shit happening in my life, a lot of shit that's happened in my life would not be happening in my life. Right? We're not in charge. There's chaos. I know the silence is loud, right? The world is chaos. The world is more than we can ever fully understand in our small lifetimes. So, chaos. Glorious chaos. Who watched Sinbad? And knows that. But yeah, there's things outside of our control. That's right. Exactly. I had a wise professor, marketing professor one year in college who started off the class with, what you think you know, you don't know. And what you don't know that either. And like the entire class was like, what? And I was like in the back, and he's like, ayo, and I'm like, yeah. And like you could tell there were like a few people who got it, and like people did it. And then like he kept going on stuff like that. Like it was this it was so awesome. I immediately went up to him and I was like, hey, can I bring you my portfolio for marketing stuff? And he was like, wait. And I was like, I'd like your opinion on it and how I can improve. Because obviously, this dude fucking gets it, right? Exactly. And there's a difference between ignorance and willful ignorance and stupidity. We have a saying within the mod team, never attribute to malice what could be attributed to stupidity or ignorance, right? We use that a lot. And honestly, I would highly suggest everyone like just put that on their wall because it really helps to reduce strife, in my personal opinion. Because when you go and you're being like, oh, this person's being a dick to me. No, they're not being a dick to me. They're just stupid. It's fine. They're dumb. This is not aggression, whatever, towards me. They're just stupid. The number of times that I have had to say that to myself and it has de-escalated a situation like that is immense. So, there is something else that I wanted to note here on one of the last sections before we get to the questions, okay? Which is, what do we gain? We've talked a little bit in the past chapters about what do we gain, the things we get to do, the experiences we might have, and what the responsibilities are, along with, as we mentioned in this section, the prestige. But the other thing, which I'm pretty sure we all kind of guessed this one, and we'll all go like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. But like, I'm just going to say it because it was said here. The more you are connected to a divine being energetically, the more your energy starts to mirror their own. I'm not saying it's going to start to mirror, but I am going to point out that we are being connected to a divine being energetically. We are working. It's just the same thing. You know, like when you hang out with your friends and you end up hanging out with a particular friend more and more, and you start ending, you pick up a couple of habits, right? You pick up maybe a couple of mannerisms, right? Same thing. You're spending a lot of time working on your practice, a lot of time with the deity or deities that you work. Because, and I say deities also because you can, in case someone needs it being said, you can be a devotee, blah, 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 whatever, of multiple divinities. Okay. You don't have to choose. You don't have to choose just one. You can, it's your practice. And I say this because when I become clergy, I am not going to become a priest or priestess of X deity. It is going to be in general, which is something that isn't often seen, or I haven't come across myself very often. Yeah. Yep. It's not personal. Exactly. So as with any skill, the more you practice, the better you get. The more you practice with the divine, the better your intuition will get. Why? Because, and I'm just going to say this, I think our intuition is 50% of us just being able to process in our brains very quickly and find connections very quickly between past events and what's happening now. For example, I don't know. Somebody who, I'm trying to think of an example. A narcissist. Okay, my mother's a narcissist. A narcissist has a certain way that they speak, certain things that they do. And basically what they do is they basically just turn everything back to themselves. And about how it affects them and how awful it is, right? I'm getting divorced. And my mother, I know this for a fact as I have been told, spent one time when she hung out, me and my mother and hung out with some friends, and my father was there, and like it'd be like, oh, she's spending this time talking about how awful like it is for her that you're going through. I'm like, say that one more time. Say that one again. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, and if you come across someone and they start talking about how awful it is for them that someone that they knew is going through X thing and how this makes them feel and how their relationship with that other person or whatever the fuck, you recognize the pattern. You recognize before you even, and this has actually happened to me, before I have even figured out someone's a narcissist, I don't want to talk to that person again. Get the fuck away from me. I have pulled people aside and been like, yo, I need to know if that person's going to be here at another event because I don't have anything. Because my brain recognized habits and patterns of speaking and things like, right? Our brains process things faster than we can realize that they're processing. It's searching the entire index all at once. So when we walk into a room, right? And if you walk into a room and you see, gas stove is turned. That means there's gas coming out. It will take you 0.1 second to go from seeing that thing, the gas on the stove is on, but there's no flame, to the room's filling up with gas. I'm gonna shut it off right now, right? Like, you don't even need a second. You know that because you know that you turned the gas on before. You've seen that circumstance before. So I genuinely believe that half of our intuition is the practice, is the life experience that we get that is in there, that is not necessarily consciously upfront in our brain this moment. You want to ask me the names of all the Olympians? Go ahead. I got you. You want to ask me which one was sewn into the thigh of Zeus? At this moment, I would remember because last week when I was talking about it, I mentioned it and I went, it was Dionysus, right? It was Dionysus that was sewn into, and someone said, yes, that's correct. But I wasn't sure. And I was just telling the story and I was like, it was Dionysus, right? Like, that's one. Right? But I knew the information. I just wasn't 100% sure which one was correlated to. And when I tried to think of it, my brain went, here's the word. This happened with a science thing a few weeks ago. The word was quasar. It's a very specific thing with stars that get stuck together in a sort of situation that I'm not a sciencey person. I can't even fucking explain what it is. But my partner was like, I'm trying to think of this word. It's to explain this thing to you, blah, blah. And I went, is it quasar? And he was like, oh my God, it is. And I was like, I didn't even know what that fucking word meant. My brain just served the word to me. Our practice, our repetition is part of our intuition, right? So the more that we practice something, the more we practice with our gods, the more we practice doing certain things, divination, meditation, self-care, the more those things become second nature, and because we're doing them over and over again. And the more that we are practicing, especially our own practice, we are connecting to the divine. That means those skills, right, are going to get practiced more. Skills like being able to, I'm going to use God phoning for an example. Being able to connect to a deity faster. Being able to set the air in your room when you're going to do a ritual faster. Right? Because you've practiced that. You've practiced the clearing out of the miasmic muck out of your room. You've practiced talking and connecting with that deity 300 times. So 301 is going to be a lot easier than number 10. Hoorah. That was the last thing. Other than this one's interesting, I thought would be a good question. It's the gods that make a priest. I would love to talk about this more along with the suggested exercises in the books and club thread for our book Dedicant, Devotee, and Priest. So I would love to hear about let's see, identify times in your practice where you have been in service to the gods. Yes. How have those experiences influenced your path or your relationship to the deity? And spend some time journaling or meditating on how you are in service to your gods. What acts of service are meaningful to you and your devotion to the deity? I'm gonna just say for everyone, let's just replace the act of service. It could be service. It could be acts for worshiping and honoring as well, because not everyone is going into going in the direction of like priest, priestess, clergy, devotee, oracle, whatever, all the things, right? So If you are not doing an act of service, that's fine. It can be an act of worship or working with, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Something that you did, or things that you do within your practice that is meaningful for you within your practice, as well as a meaningful expression of your devotion to the deity. Okay. Just because I know we've been talking about doing things for like the community and doing things, just doing things for other people. That's it. That's this week's freaking book club, y'all. I love the stories you shared. That was wonderful. And I can't wait to hear about you guys' practice in the channels. I'm going to copy the suggested exercises right now. That was the highlighter. Okay. I didn't. No highlighting. I'm trying to copy. Copy pasta. I'm going to paste this in here. And so next week, we're going to be doing chapter 11, Service to the Community. Tori realizes that she has not put another ad on. I only did one ad. We're supposed to be reaming Twitch by stealing all their ad money, and we're not. That's terrible. We have to keep doing it. That was 170. 16. Ooh. It's literally all of the chapters in this book are 10 pages. I fucking love this book. Fuck yeah. All right, we're doing all of chapter 11. And then we do chapter 12. Is that the end? I think it's the end. Oh, almost the end. And then it's the end. We only have 2 more book clubs left before we finish this. Woo! Oh my gosh, that's so fast. Woo! Yeah, and I am going to be doing this next year as well. And I'm actually going to print out and bind a copy. Maybe I'll just look to see how much it costs or something. Because like I'm like, well, what's the point if I'm going to print it out and bind it at home? I have to, Stella. Of course I'm going to. You are my excuse. Is that a tent? Oh, it's my blue screen. We used to stream through Restream using OBS, which allowed me to have a transparent background over the text. OBS decided to be a dick. And I have to update something to make it work. And I need to go find which chat that was in. I'm pretty sure I know which one. I'll find it. But yeah, that's why. And also my bed is covered in laundry. I wouldn't normally have a problem with it, like, because I don't give a shit. Because, like, look, I got, like, cute shit. And then, like, on this way, if I can turn my chair, we have, I showed it earlier, my Klingon flag. This is new. So, yeah. Bye, Thunder. Thanks for being here. Thank you for modding this the stream as well. Yeah, it's a big blue screen to be able to do transparent backgrounds. Because I'm using straight Restream on its own, it doesn't have the background thing. Okay, it does, but when I clicked it, it said I need a GPU, and I'm like, pretty sure I have one of those, so I don't know. I'm not that technically savvy. I'm pretty technically savvy, but not that technically savvy. So, now, that being said, thank you, Stella. Talk to... host and... Oops. Copy. Chat, can I get some W's? My baby finally fell asleep. Aww! Do you mean Oz? What do you mean some W? Or you mean some, like, woot woots? I will 100% do dumb shit on stream. Where is my to-do list? I just need to copy this. Okay, I copied that. Hold on. I have to also post in the, next book club, chapter 11. Okay, we did that. Whoop, whoop. And I'm also going to put it in the chat here, too. Because my way of cheating is if I realize I forgot to put what we're reading for next time, I just come and look at last time's stream. Awesome. Okay, let me see here. I have to go because I have an appointment in like 4 minutes. So it's video appointment still. Thank you all of you for joining. Vel, please feel free to join us on our Discord. The book club is done in a public channel. So if you should be approved by the next book club, but like, yeah. There is a minimum 24-hour waiting period, so don't be fussed. We are also changing the schedule of who does that on what day, so it's a little funky right now, but like, yeah. Please feel free to join us. Everyone's welcome, regardless of path. As long as everyone plays nice and is respectful, everyone is welcome to join. We can all learn from each other, and I'm so grateful, just saying this right now to all of you guys, for you guys being here, for learning with you, for being my excuse to read. Really? Genuinely. Yeah, the rules are basically don't be a jerk. For like the first year and a half of HH, the rules were follow Discord terms of service, golden rule, don't be an asshole. I swear to fuck. Right? I know. And yet our rules are so long now. All of which culminates to don't be an asshole. But no, genuinely, thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for volunteering to help. Thank you for contributing. Lurkers are learners. We always say that in HH, so lurking is always welcome. But I genuinely love hearing from you guys and your experiences, and it adds so much value to things like book club when the community joins. And I also want to remind everyone that we do have another ritual coming next month. Do we have any other planned events already? Actually, I was just like, do we have anything else planned? We have, yeah. Okay, so we have the November ritual for Aries. We have Dionysus in December. I'm pretty sure that we already have hosts for both of those, but definitely check it out because anyone can read, if you want to read on stream, one of the pieces for the rituals. If you want to just write a piece for the rituals for someone else to have to dealing with the public aspect, we want all of that. If you want to just draw something, then yeah. Okay, I'm also just going to point this out because Jahan doesn't know what just happened, and Jahan is one of our newer mods. So, Jahan, what just happened is if you type the word Theoi, if you type that word in, it triggers an automatic resource dump, actually, is what it is. So, can I copy the text on this? Nope, not there. I can copy it here, though. Yeah, so those are little things that, that help make it. It's the devil's in the details, we always say. Nope, I just want to... I lost it in the chat. But yeah, so we polytheistic in this household. Yep. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for contributing, and thank you for being awesome and spending your time today with me. Bye, everyone. Remember, if you need to catch up, grab the book in the pins of Books and Club. Bye, everyone. Where's the button to end this on Restream at this point? There it is.